morning, students. Here today we will continue with the next topic in the chapter reproductive health, that it is sexually transmitted diseases. What is the next topic? That it is sexually transmitted diseases, which can also be written as the STDs. Okay, sexually transmitted diseases, which can also be written as the STDs. Okay, so what do you mean by the sexually transmitted diseases? Means the diseases or infections the diseases or infections which are transmitted through sexual intercourse. Such type of diseases are known as the sexually transmitted diseases. Okay, so see here the diseases which are or the infections which will transmit from one person to another person. Transmitted from where to where? Means that's from one person to another person through sexual intercourse. That it is known as the sexually transmitted diseases. Or the sexually transmitted diseases are also known as the venereal diseases. What it is known as? It is known as the venereal diseases. Okay, venereal diseases are VD or reproductive tract infections. RTI, reproductive tract infections. Okay, these are sexually transmitted diseases which can also be known as the venereal diseases or reproductive tract infections. Okay, so what are the examples of the sexually transmitted diseases? Let's see here that it is gonorrhea, syphilis. Examples. Some of the examples that I mentioned here, that is gonorrhea, syphilis, genital herpes, genital warts, chlamydiasis, genital herpes, genital warts, then trichomoniasis, then one of the leading disease, that is the hepatitis B. Okay, hepatitis B, one of the most discussed infection about these sexual transmitted diseases, that it is the HIV, which will lead to the AIDS. HIV/AIDS. What are the examples which can be transmitted through the sexual intercourse from one person to another person? Means gonorrhea, syphilis, genital herpes, genital warts, chlamydomonas, trichomoniasis, hepatitis B, and HIV/AIDS. Okay, so these are among the some of the diseases which are very dangerous, which can be transmitted from person to another person. Okay. So here, especially the hepatitis B and HIV/AIDS. Okay. So here, some of the diseases, not only they are going to transmit through the sexual activity, but they are also going to transfer from one person to another person through some other sources. Okay. See here, some of the infections like hepatitis B, I will write here. Next, see here that some of the infections like hepatitis B, then HIV/AIDS, hepatitis B and HIV/AIDS. This is not only going to transmit through the sexual intercourse, but also by sharing some of the needles. Here I will write by sharing needles, then by sharing medical instruments or surgical instruments, by sharing the injection needles. Injection needles by sharing surgical instruments, then surgical instruments, etc. So this can be transmitted these things. What are that? That is by sharing the injection needles and by sharing the surgical instruments. Then here, from one person to another person, how it is going to transfer? See here, by parcels means it is going to transmitted through blood transfusion. Transmitted through blood transfusion. This is one thing. This is the way. One way, if one infected, see here, one donor is there. This is the donor, and this is the recipient. Recipient of what? Of blood. Here, this donor is a HIV positive. Okay. If like that only, this person is going to share or transfuse the blood to the recipient, then it will also become HIV positive. So transmitted through blood transfusion, then from an infected mother to a fetus. From an infected mother to a fetus. Unborn child, if mother is suffering from the HIV positive, then that mother will transmit that infection to the unborn child, that is to the fetus. Okay, so except hepatitis B, genital herpes and HIV infection. See here, among all that example, there are 3 infections. See here, except genital herpes, hepatitis B, except genital herpes, hepatitis B, then HIV/AIDS. Except these 3 diseases, except these three diseases, other diseases are completely curable. If there is a proper treatment they are going to take, such as syphilis is there, gonorrhea is there, genital warts are there. Okay, so chlamydomonas, chlamydiasis is there, trichomoniasis is there. So all that diseases can be treated early. Okay, or it can be curable if it is treated early. Then these diseases, if detected early, it can also be treated properly. Okay, so early symptoms among these diseases. What are the symptoms? Means, see here, except the diseases, the other diseases, other STDs, other sexually transmitted diseases are treated and curable. Okay, then except this one, here what are the symptoms in this disease? So, we'll see. Here, some of the early symptoms. Early symptoms will be minor. Minor means some light symptoms can be seen. But what are the other symptoms? Means, see what are these minor symptoms? Means it will include itching, fluid discharge, itching, fluid discharge, then slight pain, swelling, etc. Slight pain, swellings, etc. These are the minor symptoms of what? Of the sexually transmitted diseases. There will be itching in the genital areas, fluid discharge from the genital areas, slight pain, then swellings. These are what? These all are the early symptoms. Okay. In the where it is going to take place means that is in genital regions or in genital areas. Okay. Then, other than that, absence or less symptoms, that is asymptomatic also we can say. So, and hence may remain undetected for long. If like these symptoms is there, then you will go, then you can confirm that that is one of the sexual transmitted diseases. If the disease or infection is asymptomatic, asymptomatic means there is no symptoms. If there is no symptoms means it can be undetected for a longer period of time. You cannot recognize them. Okay, it will be remain undetected for a long. So absence of lesser symptoms, absence of less symptoms in the early stage of infection, and the social stigma attached to the STDs deter the infected person from going for timely detection and proper treatment. Okay, if symptoms are less or absence of symptoms, it will be undetected. If it is undetected for a long period of time, then that particular disease it will remain untreated. If it is remaining untreated, then we can say these diseases are going to transmit from that person to another person. So this can be happen in the, especially in the hepatitis B and HIV/AIDS, because the symptoms will be minor. Not only minor, it will be less or absence of symptoms. So this, if it is untreated, undetected, symptoms are not there, means this may lead to PID, that is pelvic inflammatory diseases. Pelvic inflammatory diseases. Okay. This will lead to what? Pelvic inflammatory diseases, abortions. Abortion may take place if a woman is pregnant, then stillbirth. Stillbirth means death of child inside the womb. Okay, that may also take place. Stillbirth, then ectopic pregnancy. Ectopic pregnancy. Ectopic pregnancy means the pregnancy is going to occur in fallopian tube. Okay, stillbirth, death of the child inside the womb, that will also take place through these infections, or if such diseases are untreated for a longer period of time. If the lady is pregnant, then in the early stage only that lady will go for the abortion. Then stillbirth, ectopic pregnancies, then infertility. Infertility, the one of the major cause for the infertility is the infections in the pelvic areas. Then cancer of pelvic areas. This may also lead. Okay, so this is about what? About the pelvic areas or the reproductive tract cancer. So this all symptoms or these all things, when it is going to possible means when the diseases are most dangerous, uncurable, undetectable for a longer period of time. There is no symptoms that may lead to these all problems. Okay, so therefore prevention or early detection is the best treatment for all these sexually transmitted diseases. So here there are simple principles which are given below to get cure or to prevent such type of diseases. What are the principles? Here there are three principles are there. Let's see. And one more thing, this all sexually transmitted diseases, it is common among the age of 15 to 24 years. In this age, these all things, these diseases are common. Okay, because this is a what we call sexual active age in which they are going to reproduce. Okay, so during this age only these infections are possible. Next thing here, what are the principle to prevent these infections means first one is avoid sex with the, this is one of the important thing for 2 months. Avoid sex with unknown person. Unknown person or multiple person. Multiple persons. This is one thing. If a person is unknown, that unknown person may suffering from any sexual transmitted diseases means that can be transmitted for the going to use these barriers, then they can prevent such type of diseases. Then third, in case of doubt, one should go in case of doubt. If they have any doubt about the diseases or the infections, they can go to a qualified doctor. They can go to a qualified doctor for early detection and for complete treatment. And for complete treatment. Okay, complete treatment if diagnosed with the disease. Okay, one is with unknown partners, with multiple partners, they have to avoid sex. Second is they have to use the barriers during the coitus. In case of doubt, if they are seeing any symptoms, if they have doubt on their partners, means they can go immediately consult to a doctor. They can detect. Early detection is the one of the most curable point. Then for complete treatment is diagnosed with such type of diseases. Okay, so this is about what? About the sexually transmitted diseases. Okay, then next topic is infertility. So that you will see here. Next, infertility. Infertility means unable to conceive the pregnancy or unable to bear a child. Okay, they are unable to produce children in spite of unprotected sexual activity. Here in India, there are many couples who are suffering from the infertility. There are many couples who don't bear the pregnancy or conceive the pregnancy. Okay, they are unable to produce the, even after they are unprotected, they are undergoing unprotected sexual activity. Okay, so the reasons for this infertility, it may be here reasons. It may be physical reason due to some physical unfitness. Okay, congenital, by birth if any disease is there with the female or male, that is also one reason. Congenital, then by drugs, by the usage of excessive drug by the male partner or by the female partner, that is also going to lead to an infertility. Then immunological, due to the less immune system, and psychological. If they are mentally disabled, that person also may not bear the child. Psychological. Okay, the next see, in India, often females are blamed for infertility, but in the most of the cases, the male is suffering from some of the what we call disinformities in the males. So this can be corrected If diagnosed properly, if they are going for a specialist in infertility, then it can be curable and they can bear the child. If in that case also they are not bearing the child, here there are some modern techniques has been introduced in the India, not only in the India but all over the world. Okay, so what are the techniques to have the couples who don't have the children? Particular techniques are commonly known as techniques that are commonly known as the assisted reproductive technologies. What it is? Assisted reproductive technologies. That is ART. This question may ask for explain briefly about assisted reproductive technology. This may ask for 5 marks. Okay, so this is one of the technique of assisted reproductive technologies. Okay, this is one of the technique to those couples who don't have the children even after the treatment by some of the specialists. Okay, so among these ART or about this, if we talk about this assisted reproductive technology, here there are some other techniques are there. That all techniques you have to explain under this question. So let's see about that techniques. What are that? Next, first among that, see here, first of all, assisted reproductive technology, that it is ART. Among these, the first one is IVF. IVF. What is the full form of IVF? Means that is the in vitro fertilization. In vitro. What is the meaning of in vitro? Means outside the body. In vitro fertilization. Fertilization takes place outside the body. Okay. See here. Here, fertilization takes place outside the body in suitable condition. Outside the body means where? Means that is in the labs, in the test tubes, in the culture plates. Okay, in a suitable condition. The suitable condition which will be similar to the uterus or the female reproductive tract. Okay, so this IVF, that means if a female partner or a female woman is unable to conceive the pregnancy due to some due to some diseases or due to some changes in the reproductive tract, what they will prefer is they will prefer for the IVF. Okay, where they will take the sperm and they will take the ova. This ova should be of healthy female and this sperm it should be a healthy male. Okay, so what they will do is they will keep in the nutrient medium. What they will do? They will keep in the nutrient medium. So in culture plate they will keep this medium. This condition will be similar to the uterus of the female. Okay. Then next here that is going to fuse the petri plate. Then after that the zygote is going to form. This is the zygote. Okay. This zygote, either they will transfer this zygote into the female reproductive tract, or otherwise, if not zygote is not they are going to transfer it, they will again wait for it. The zygote will divide into two cells, then into the four cells, then into the eight cells. Eight cells. Okay, so these 8 cells, when it attains the 8 blastomeres, then we can call it as the embryo. So, this embryo, they are going to transfer into the female reproductive tract, that is in the uterus. This is going to transfer into the uterus, not in uterus, that is in the female reproductive tract. With what? With the 8 blastomeres. Okay, so this process of transferring the embryo, this technique is known as the embryo transfer. What it is known as? It is known as the embryo transfer. Okay, so where ova from a wife or a donor or female and sperm from a husband or a donor male, they are going to collect it, then they are going to make it fertilize, then they are going to make it zygote, then it is going to, these all things are going to take place in the labs. Okay, so this, if they are going to transfer the zygote into the reproductive tract, then it is known as the zift. This is for, they will ask for 1 mark sometimes. What is zift? Zift means zygote intrafallopian transfer. They will transfer into the fallopian tube. Intrafallopian transfer. That it is known as the zift. Okay, and embryos more than 8 blastomeres. If this embryo more than 8 blastomeres, see there, more than 8 means then again 16 blastomeres will be there. 16, then 32. Okay, so if they are transferring these stages into the uterus, then it is known as the intrauterine transfer. More than 16, 8 blastomeres, then it is known as the IUT, that is the intrauterine transfer. Okay, the next to complete transfer into the uterus, that particular transfer, that technique we can call it as the intrauterine transfer. Then here to complete its further development, embryos formed by in vivo fertilization. In vivo fertilization means inside the womb only embryo is going to form. Okay, that may also transfer to the women who are unable to conceive the pregnancies. Okay, so the next I will continue in the next class. Okay, thank you.